Good evening. We're with the International Dyslexia Association Oregon branch. We're going to be doing at Dyslexia You Are Not Alone Instagram Live with Dominic, who's going to be our first international guest, coming all the way from South Africa / Australia. So he'll be joining us shortly. He's got an amazing story and journey. So excited to share that. I think he's trying to log on right now. Hey, how you doing?
Good yourself?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Pleasure, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
So,
Uh,
you're our first international guest, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So, I know, so originally from South Africa, but living in
Yeah,
Australia right now.
I've got to Australia last week Sunday, and I'm still doing my quarantine in a hotel, so I've got 5 more days left.
So we caught you at the right time.
Yep. Yeah.
Uh, so what's really interesting is we met back in 2018
Yep.
in
Yeah.
Cape Town.
Yes.
And now you're living near Perth, and those are two places that I've actually run. So I thought that was kind of
That's
cool.
awesome. That's awesome.
So Dominic, can you start with your journey of dyslexia and what that's been like for you?
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I've written down a few points so I can
Oh, there you go. You're prepared.
But yeah, so I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 9 years old. Um, and yeah, no, it's been a really interesting journey. I think overall it's been a good one. It's been tough, but overall I think it's been awesome. Um, I I've had lots of help from especially my mom. My
Okay.
mom is she teaches. She's a teacher, and she's done a lot of research into dyslexia, and yeah, I think she sort of helped me get through school in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
no, for sure.
and sort of, doing that research, it helped me to realize what I can do to achieve in school, and it's like forming my way of learning, if that makes sense.
Yo, totally. So like giving you the ability to kind of put things in your own terms and
Yes,
understanding. Yeah. Can you talk about some of the challenges of what it was like kind of as you were
yeah,
getting diagnosed? Like what were some of those struggles? Because I think a lot of students are on the line and they like to kind of feel that vibe of
yes,
what other people are going through.
yes, yeah. So uh, when I was diagnosed, obviously I was pretty young, so I didn't particularly understand it until I sort of was slightly older, around 12, 13. I didn't really, mom was like, dyslexic and dyslexia and stuff like that, but it wasn't really something that was in my head. Um, and I don't think it was something that affected me too badly, because obviously my main focus wasn't really in the classroom, it was more on the sports field. But I think with regards to how it's been a challenge, it's definitely been difficult to find motivation sometimes to work, especially in class, um, and it's been difficult because uh, it's I tend to struggle with concentration, and yeah, it's just I think the trouble is that most schools don't cater for dyslexic minds, if that makes sense. Just
Yeah,
because
totally.
just because we think differently doesn't mean that we are stupid. It just means that we think differently.
Right, totally.
And it means that one thing that dyslexia has really helped me realize is that we have amazing minds that can think in many ways that others can't. which, you know, visually, creatively, which I think if you can incorporate that into your own work in the class, it makes things so much easier and so much more fun.
No, I totally agree with that. I think there gets those labels, right? Like the skills that we think reading and writing, we attribute that to smarts and intelligence, and that's clearly just not the case.
Yeah,
And especially as dyslexics, we struggle in those particular areas. But you're right, visual or auditory, like ability to process or think big picture or relate to people, those skill sets not necessarily get tested in the classroom the way that those others. What have you found? Have you found tools that have made learning easier for you? Be it
yes.
technology or
Uh,
practices?
yes, well, I wouldn't say there's much technology that I've used to make things easier, although that it is sort of true. Like with regards to technology and learning, I think with regards to, like, if I'm looking at a subject, for example, biology, or you know, if there's a concept I'm not really getting, I'll look up a YouTube video on it, or you know, things like, because the videos are visual,
Yeah,
um, which makes things easier. But like with regards to an actual, like an app or a website, I haven't really used that much of that. It's been more on my behalf with the types of notes that I make.
yep,
Um, so like, for example, I will have to, because the way I learn, I can't read out of a textbook, and I can't read a textbook and then get the information in my head. I have to write down what I'm reading. Um, and so, for example, unfortunately, I don't have a notebook here with me, but like,
sure.
uh, I I would I would have like all these like kokies, or color markers,
Yeah,
and I would literally summarize the whole textbook in different colors for different sections, and I would like draw certain pictures to help me, you know, remember things. You know, some people, like, I've had teachers walk up to me in class while I'm making notes, and they'll look at my notes and they're like, "Don, why are you drawing in your book? Like, this makes no sense." But I'll, and then I'll explain to them, like, this picture means this to me because it connects this with that, and then they realize, oh, okay, this is what he's saying. So yeah,
So, so I have a question on that. Do you see the world through pictures then? Like, do
pretty much.
you, yeah, so you'll take a sentence or you'll read a sentence or hear a sentence and then you and visually you start
Visualize it.
mapping. Yeah, which makes sense as to why YouTube videos would actually be your like assistive technology that
Oh, yeah.
because if I was so like if I was teaching you in a class, I think it would really make sense to give you the notes, right? But then say, hey, go set up the computer, and if you want to
Yeah.
Google search, let's find the right YouTube videos to watch, and
Yeah.
then you would be able to learn that way. That totally makes sense. Have have you encountered other dyslexics? Like, have you through your schooling, or have you kind of felt like you've been alone in the process?
Yeah, no, I don't think I don't think I've had anyone say to me, like, within my, I don't think I've had any other dyslexic uh, guys in my grade, but
Hmm.
I certainly do know people that are dyslexic, and
Okay.
that, yeah, so yeah, no, I think, well, my mom's dyslexic,
Oh, there you
uh,
go.
my grandfather was dyslexic, so yeah, so I certainly do know people that are dyslexic. Yeah.
Do you find that being able to at least connect with them about the subject matter of dyslexia has been helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. And I think, like, with regards to my mom, with my learning, she's made things very easy for me, because, like, we pretty much think the same. So because we both dyslexic, so it makes things easier. When like I'm not understanding something, I can go to her, even though she doesn't might not teach the subject. She's able to put it into a way that I can understand. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think it's really great. I mean, we talk about it. We have a student panel here in Oregon, and I think just the ability to connect with other like-minded dyslexics has just been really
Mm.
super powerful for them. It sounds like yourself with your family members, like you've been
Yeah.
lucky to have that within your community structure. So I just think it's brilliant.
Mm.
I wanted to ask you about your outlets because
Yeah.
I mean, you have obviously figured out to work through the classroom, but you have these great talents that have led you to a sport called cricket, which
Yes.
how did you get started in that and what's that been like? And if you
Yeah.
can kind of
Yeah.
elaborate on it.
Sure. So, if I had to describe cricket to an American, it would be similar to baseball.
Okay.
Uh, Probably, yeah, it's probably the most similar to baseball. And it's a really cool sport. Um, the interesting thing about it is that it's like golf; it takes forever. Um, so it can be boring sometimes watching it as a spectator, but as a player, um, you spend pretty much, for me, in the summers, I'd be playing school cricket and club cricket on a Saturday and Sunday, and that it literally takes up your whole day. Like I will leave home at maybe 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get back home around maybe, if it's a school game, I'll probably get home around maybe 7:30, yeah, around 7:30. And if it's a club game, I play with in a men's league at club level. So after the game, the guys will sit around and have a beer and chat a bit. So you only end up getting home around 8 o'clock, 9. So it takes up your whole day. So you have to sacrifice quite a bit. But it's an awesome game, and I think my first memories of cricket were definitely in the driveway in the driveway at my grandparents' place. My dad throwing balls to me in the driveway, or teaching me how to bowl. Yeah, no, those are definitely my first memories. And like the school that I went to for high school, I've been able to have so many awesome opportunities like with going on tours to play cricket. We went on a cricket tour to, I don't know if you know the Kruger National Park in South Africa.
No. Oh,
So
so,
to get
okay, yeah.
with animals like lions, giraffes, elephants, that sort of stuff. And there's a cricket ground in the middle of this game park. And I was fortunate enough to play a game there, and we had warthogs walking on the field while we were playing. It was crazy. So just being able to have these opportunities to go visit South Africa and meet all these new people, and I think it's taught me a lot about life, and I think it's also helped me with my dyslexia in a way, with regards to struggles in the classroom. Um,
How
but
so? How would you could you elaborate
yeah,
on that?
so now that I think of it, I actually think dyslexia has helped my cricket as well. I think more my dyslexia helped me, because dyslexia has helped me realize that um, you've got to be willing to work harder than others to achieve in the classroom. Um, whether your achieving might be passing or getting 60%, or just doing the best that you
Yeah.
can, but that sometimes can take much more work than others, and that's you got to have dedication, you got to have the drive, you got to find your reason why, if that makes sense.
No, it totally does.
Mm.
I know it's COVID time, so things are a little bit different, but could you talk, because your work ethic and
Yes.
dedication is pretty amazing. Could you tell the audience a little bit about your training regime in order to
Yes.
prepare yourself to play cricket?
Cricket, yes, yeah. So ever since I was in so I got to in junior school, I went to a separate junior school to my high school, and at the junior school the cricket wasn't that great, um, but so it was pretty easy to do well there. But then I went to high school and things changed. The amount of people that play cricket at the high school and the level of cricket you play at high school is very different. So I had to make a decision, whether I was going to just fall away, or I was actually going to try and work hard and get to where I wanted to get. And I made the decision that I was going to. So I live about 45 minutes to an hour away from my school,
Oh, wow.
and the traffic's pretty hectic in the morning, so you have to leave early. So I had to wake up at between 4 and 4:30, and I would train for an hour or hour and a half, and then I would have breakfast, shower, go to school, finish school. School would start at 7:45. Then I'd finish school at 2:30, 2:45. Then I'd get to cricket training in the afternoon, and I'd spend, practice was normally 2.5 to 3 hours, but then I'd always try and convince my mom that I could, that I could maybe stay an extra hour after training and do some stuff.
Of course.
I'd only end up leaving school at around 7. And then, after that, there's obviously you have to stretch and look after the body and just prepare for the next day, and then do your homework and make lunch, and and then by the time you finish, it's 9 o'clock and you need to go to bed because you're waking up at 4 o'clock the next morning. So and
that's impressive.
So that happened obviously for the 5 days of the week for school, and then Saturday would be school cricket, which would be, as I said, the whole day from about 6:30 in the morning to 7:30 in the evening. And Sunday would be, most Sundays I'd have club cricket, which would be from obviously the same time in the morning, around 6 till late at night, because because it's a slightly different social aspect with club cricket. But it takes up your whole time. So you've got to be passionate about what you do.
Absolutely. Can you, I mean, dedication is just one word that comes to mind. You're just so driven, and that reason why you do it is so powerful. Tell the audience what you're doing in Australia right now. Like, as you're kind of,
yes,
I know you're in quarantine now, but what you will be doing.
Yes. So I will be working at a school in Australia. It's actually just down the road from the place I'm staying now.
Cool.
I'll be working as like a stooge or an intern at the hostel. It's a boys' school, which is nice because I went to all boys high school, and I'll be working in the summers. I'll be working with a PE or physical education department. So I'll be doing a lot of water sports like rowing or stand-up paddleboarding. I've never done these things in my life. It'll be an interesting experience. But I'll also be helping with the first team cricket and helping doing some coaching and some work with them. And then I've been signed up with the University of Western Australia to play cricket with them. And that is about 10 minutes down the road. So it's not too far. And it sounds, I haven't been to the club yet, but it sounds like it's an amazing place. Like the facilities are just unreal. So it's gonna be awesome.
That sounds awesome. 10 minutes sounds a lot better than the hour that you were.
And I'm staying at the hostel, so it's gonna make things a lot easier.
Oh, so cool. Well, congratulations. That's awesome. There's one more outlet that you have that's kind of this hidden talent of yours that I was wondering if you could share a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I also enjoy doing magic. So like card tricks and magician-y things, if it makes sense.
Absolutely.
I think when I was 5 years old, I had a magician at one of my parties, and ever since then, like I've just been sort of magic has been a big interest in my life. I went to this really cool place in Cape Town for 2 years. The reason it's called the College of Magic.
Okay.
And you go there on a Saturday, and you can start when you're 10 years old, and you go there on a Saturday, and there are 3 courses that you can complete. So I went for the first year I was there. Course 1 and course 2 are both 6 months. So in that first year I did 2 courses, and then I finished that course when I was about 11, and then I took a break from doing that because cricket took over, and then I got injured playing cricket when I was 12, so I was out of sport for a year. I cracked my femur, so I had to be out of sport. So the magic took over again. So I did magic for another year. I did course 3 for 1 year, and then I took quite a bit of a break from it. I don't know. I think just cricket and high school was so busy that I just didn't have time. And then maybe 4 years ago, I was on YouTube, and I saw this guy performing magic, and it just like re-inspired me. And ever since then, I've been like, it's pretty much like, it's up there with cricket. Not as much as cricket, but it's up there with cricket. So
Okay, fair enough.
and
What?
yeah,
Go ahead. No, you're
I
good.
was saying that I've really been amazed with myself because previously I've never really wanted to read books, and there's all these amazing books on magic, and I've been able to read them and make notes on them, and I've been really proud of myself because I'm not really the reading type, if that makes sense. Like if I'm reading a book, I have to really like seriously be passionate about it.
Right.
So yeah, that's been awesome to just to do that sort of stuff, and I really like the creativity because you can use your visual thinking to you can apply it to magic and things like that. So yeah.
Well, I think it's really cool, like on so many different levels for you, because to be passionate about something and then take on the challenge of reading, which is really hard. We talk about if we can find these students' passions, right? Then they can tackle some of the hard subjects like
Yeah,
reading because of the interest, the draw to like want to get that material. So
exactly.
it's so awesome.
Yeah, I
Do,
think it just leads. Yeah.
oh, go, you're good.
I think it. Yeah, as I said, it just leads back to what's your reason why? Why do you want to do this? And from there you find your motivation to just carry on. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Yeah. What do you have anything prepared for us?
Yeah. Well, in fact, I do. um. So okay, let me pan the camera down. I don't know how. I hope this camera is gonna get me in shot as well as the cards. It's gonna be a bit of a. Okay, let me see if this is gonna work. One
Okay.
moment.
So you can get it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me get my head in the frame.
Okay.
So okay, so first of all, this isn't set up at all. Just to say, I haven't conspired with you in any way. This is on the spot, right?
Right, correct.
So in my hands, right, I hold a deck of playing cards, and within this deck is a prediction that I've made, right? Which I want to reveal later. But before I do that, Jared, I'm going to need you to make some decisions, okay?
Okay.
So in a deck of playing cards, we have 52 different types of cards that can be identified by their color, their suit, and the value, okay? So I'm going to need you to create a card for me, right?
Okay.
But in doing this, I'm going to ask you 3 simple questions just to make things a little easier, okay? So if you had to think of a card, would you like your card to be a red card or a black card?
Black card.
Black card, okay? You sure you want to stick with black?
I'm gonna stick with the black, yeah.
Awesome, okay. So now in the deck of cards we have, with the black cards, we have clubs and we have spades. Those are the 2 suits, clubs and spades. Is there any particular suit you'd like to use?
Let's go spades.
Spades, okay. So it's a black card, it's a spade. Now, with the values, you have 13 different options of cards, right? And these 13 options run from ace all the way through to king, okay? So could you please pick a value that you would like to use?
Let's go with 4.
4. So 4 spades.
4 spades.
And you don't want to change your mind?
No, I think I'm good. I'm sticking with it.
Okay. So that's pretty interesting, right? So the 4 spades, totally random. Your choice. I haven't influenced you in any way.
Nope.
I want to show you something, okay? So, just to get best picture, I might have my face in the shot here, but I made a prediction that you would choose one specific card, right? Within the deck. So I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna do this as fairly as possible, okay? So I'm gonna take the cards out. Take the cards out of the pack, and I want to show you that all the cards are facing one way, right?
Correct.
All the cards are facing the one way, except for one. Except for one card. One card is facing the wrong way, right?
I
Now,
see that.
you could have picked any card. You could
Correct.
have picked color, any suits, any card you like. But for some strange reason, you picked the only face down card in this deck, which just happens to be
No way.
the Four of
That
Spades.
is unreal. Oh, oh my gosh, Dominic the Great. I don't even know what to say. That is amazing. Uh, Apparently those classes have worked because I'm blown away. That is awesome.
Thank you very much.
Uh, True legend there.
Thank you.
Well, one, thanks for doing that. Thanks for adjusting the camera and making that
Pleasure.
happen so that we could see a trick. That is, I think we haven't had a magic trick on this show before, so
Awesome. Well,
the
there's a time for everything, eh?
yeah, for sure, everything. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but
Yeah.
the rule on this show is the guest gets the last word, and I just want to see if you
Yes.
had any parting words. By the way, you're getting such praise on this. So great from Shelby, amazing from Jane, who you know, Danielle with
Yes.
stars, Hawaii Dyslexia is giving you a big thumbs up. So yeah,
Thank
lots of praise. But I want to leave you with the last word. What is your message to the
you.
world with regard to
Yeah.
dyslexia and education and
Yeah. So my message to everyone out there is that one, you got to be willing to work harder than others to achieve, and two, for me, one thing that's helped me is you got to look at your life, and you've got to look at your life and realize what your passions are, and from there on, you have to obviously set yourself a goal, and whether it be a big goal or a small goal, and from there, the only thing you can do is just work as hard as you can. And I, you know, it's been awesome because I have people that believe in me, and I think anyone who has any learning difficulties, it doesn't define who you are as a person. And yeah, just to let you guys know that I believe in you. Many other people do. And when times are tough, just remember that, remember your reason why, and remember that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, and that you got it. Yeah, you can do it.
So powerful. Well, Dominic, we believe in you. We're so impressed by your work ethic and your drive. We just are all rooting for you. Our president of the dyslexia branch is thanking you for sharing your story. Just hearts, just so much support for you. And hopefully we get you back on and just share more about what you're doing and your journey as you're going through. But
Yeah, I'd love to.
we're all rooting for you, man.
Love to. Thanks for everything you're doing as well. This is awesome.
Well, sounds good. Take care and
Yeah.
good luck with the rest of quarantine and
Thank you so much.
training. So we'll
Thank
take
you.
care, man.
Thank you. God bless. Cheers.
Have a good night.
You too.